me tell you how it will be.
I know that music anywhere is the one. The only Bob Loeser, Taxman Bob, we officially call him around here on The Price of Business, and I am your host, Kevin Price. We're going to be talking to you about you and your business, particularly as it pertains to what's, to what's happening in the financial front and the tax front. How have you been, my friend?
I'm doing fine. I was actually also seen in the building with Elvis this morning.
There you go. So that announcement was premature that he had left the building?
Yes, he hadn't left.
He hadn't left
He was
yet.
just in the restroom.
So that means that, near the end of the segment, we'll hear that loud noise again, that Elvis has left the building.
Right.
So, yeah, we're going to have all the crazy conspiracy kooks, in front of our building before, noon.
Right.
Thanks so much, Bob. But, tell me a little bit about what's going on in the tax front.
Well, we just passed the September 15th deadline, which was last call for partnerships, trusts, corporate returns, S-corp returns. And interestingly enough, there's still a few that haven't filed in our offices, but that now it's their problem, not ours, because it's $95 per partner per month penalty for not filing.
Wow.
But now the next filing deadline is October 15th, which is the last personal for those procrastinators that have figured, well, one, I'm getting a little bit of refund back, I don't need to bother with this until the end. Or two, those who owe it saying, well, maybe if I wait long enough, it'll go away, which of course isn't the case.
No.
But really what they're procrastinating and doing is twofold. One, haven't paid last year's bill, and now are almost 9 months, or will be next month, 9.5 months into this year, and haven't done any of their planning, their sit down, et cetera. So, I think it's important as we get to, now there is one more filing deadline, which is November 15th for franchise. All right. But normally we file our franchise returns for our clients with the corporate returns that are filed by September 15th. That way it doesn't get behind us or we forget or they forget. Particularly if they owe money, same thing with the feds. Interest is accruing on a monthly basis at like 0.5% a month on the balance that hasn't been paid.
Well, how do you explain this? I mean, how do you explain this ongoing, very odd behavior on the part of these, individuals when it comes to not doing this thing? And you've been in this segment with me now for literally years,
right?
And it seemed to me at some point they would get it, but instead
it's
they're paying a lot of penalties. Their life's more difficult than it should be. It's odd to me. Isn't it odd to you?
It's the same people every year, give or take 5 or 6 that have either popped up or paid early. It's those that you start telling them in June to get their stuff together and I'll get it. Or they think that, again, they don't want to spend the 4 hours on a Saturday or Sunday while they're watching football organizing their tech stuff.
That's understandable.
They only know about. I've got people that have, farms and have rental properties, and it's a matter of, hey, just get your stuff together and give me an outline. At least we can get it from here to there. And then I can tell you, okay, we're missing these 5 items. Mm-hmm. Right?
So it's always the usual suspects.
Correct.
Almost always the usual suspects.
Correct. And it's also those that, again, owe $15,000 and haven't gotten around to either going to the bank and borrowing, pulling from their 401k to pay it, or accumulate cash in the current year to pay last year's tax.
Incredible. So what else do you want people to keep an eye on? Obviously, we might get you on back to do a short chat on what's happening on the financial front, because that looks like that could be changing here pretty shortly.
Sure. I mean, this week is very volatile, and seeing, who's the next Fed chairman, and, what happens with tapering, and, the whole bit, where do we go? But it is extremely important. I think, the issues now are, and we talk about this every September, October, is planning for year-end, planning for Obamacare. Are you big enough that you're a part of it? Or you're small enough that you fall under the radar? And where's your business going between now and then? All right? And it really shouldn't matter based upon what the economy is doing, who's in the White House, etc. If you're running your business properly and you're keeping everything, particularly costs, close to the vest, then things should go reasonably well and expected for you.
Hard to believe Larry Summers was actually the most conservative of all of Obama's options for Fed chair.
Right.
And, he is at least a moderate inflation advocate, so it makes you scared about who these other people he's looking at.
Well, I think, I mean, I think the issue was the president wanted Southerners for whatever reason, either didn't want the job or didn't want the pressure with it. Janet Yellen is in the forefront now. We'll see. I mean, we just don't know. But the question that you ask in regards to, what are you looking at? Some of the things I'm looking at certainly is, if you need to go for, financing for your business, purchasing new equipment, expanding your warehouse, etc., it's a good opportunity with where interest rates are to put your financial package together. In addition, same thing with home refinancing. And I've got, 2 or 3 people we use in our firm to, get competitive rates on 15-year home mortgages. Mm-hmm. I mean, and they're, roughly 3.5%. And I welcome that opportunity. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in need, I don't care who you've got preparing your tax returns, doing your financial, if you're in need of some assistance or help, call us at 713-953-1272, and we can, put together a package for you as to what you need to go to, whether it's a commercial bank for business or a personal lending, mortgage for your home, and put it together and see what competitive rates with the 2 or 3 people that we use independently can get you out there. Yeah.
Well, as Ricky Ricardo used to say, someone has some splaining to do.
That's right.
And that is why Lawrence Summers did not keep his hat in there. He had some explaining to do that, frankly, I think, to be honest with you, probably could have led to eventual criminal type investigations taking place. He'd rather just not have that whole area touched, and he'll go on and he's making plenty of money, and he's got plenty of self-importance to last him the rest of his lifetime. So I think he just didn't want the heat, and the heat would have been pretty hot. I tell you, people need to have someone in their corner, which is why I love getting my friend on, Robert Loeser, to talk about these type of things. You need someone in your corner. I'm not in that particular business, and I don't want to be in that business. And so I rely on experts, and so it's always good to have people, like you, helping businesses and individuals out.
Well, thanks. I think for me, it's keeping the clientele aware of what's going on. Do they react to what I tell them necessarily? Maybe not tomorrow, but they'll put it in the back of their mind and go, you know what, it's time for us to redo our mortgage, or we paid down on our credit cards, and et cetera, et cetera. Now it's time for us to go and get a mortgage that now for us was 6.25%, and we can get a 15-year for 3.5 or 3.6. Save you a lot of dollars.
We'll see how long that lasts, huh?
So I think it's going to taper off. I think it's going to settle by December. I think we're going to have a sort of a flat rate of where it's at. Where it's going to be, who knows? It might be 3.8, 3.9%. by the time. But right now, 3.5, 3.6, if you can get it, I say go for it. And again, call us if you need some help.
There you go. Robert Loeser. And again, you can learn more about him. You can email him at taxmanbob@pdq.net.
That's correct.
Taxmanbob@pdq.net. And the number one more time.
713-953-1272.
And again?
713-953-1272. 1272. Operators await your call.
Choose times fast and backwards. No, I'm just joking. Okay, when we come back, much more for you. Love having Taxman on and talking about what's happening out there. We're going to have more for you right after this on The Price of Business.
There's one for you, 19.